Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. August has just ended. We are now into September. Whew, that means football season started. Yes, I've got my fantasy team lined up and it's ready to go. Second way is, that means the leaves are starting to change, the weather's getting a bit cooler, and it's getting closer to the end of the year. That means it's just a good time to enjoy life and enjoy kind of what's going on in your life. Now today we're going to be talking about my portfolio, and this is my portfolio update from August, and we are up almost a little bit over $7,000 for the month of August, and that means our portfolio has done a little bit pretty good compared to the S&P 500, and so that means we're going to be diving into our portfolio. Now, I track my portfolio with Snowball Analytics, and you can too. And I'll leave a link in my description and a link in the pinned comments. So if you want to join Snowball Analytics, you can. It's free to sign up, and you're welcome to join with the paid version. And if you do join the paid version, that is an affiliate link, and I'll get a little bit of payment. But you don't have to. You can always do the free version. All right, let's get to my portfolio. Hey guys, and welcome back to my portfolio. Today's value is sitting at about $296,208.02. Now, this is the month of August, and we have been adding, investing, and letting it just do its thing. In the month of August, we have seen the market go up and down. You'll see that later on when we check out this portfolio. But if we come back down here, like my portfolio, most of my money's sitting in a couple of funds, and those funds are, let's see if we can see those. Those funds are VTI, which has got about $221,000. We have VGT, VXUS, QQQM, and SCHD. Plus, I've got some AVUV, not so much, and maybe some VGLT. We'll see about if we're holding that longer, and some SMH, a little bit of that, and of course, just about $2.50 in my money market fund. But those are where most of my money's sitting in, those funds. And then I've got some information technology, which is Apple and Nvidia, plus some Taiwan semiconductors. We also have some financials, which is JP Morgan and Aflac. Even Aflac's an insurance company. We have some healthcare, which is AbbVie. And we have, of course, cash. The US dollar, $5.58. Not really much cash. But this is my portfolio, and today we're going to be diving in, seeing kind of the analytics, seeing how we did in this month, seeing how much dividends we're getting, and seeing what's happening in the market. All right, let's see. So we got a couple things happening in the market. Obviously, the market has closed on August 29th, and if you're looking at this on Labor Day, or even looking at this past that, well, Labor Day, there's no market activity, but we have some Nvidia shares are down a little bit. Wow, down a pretty good bit. SMH is down a little bit because of Nvidia. QQQ's down. We got Taiwan semiconductors down. Yeah, just things are down. But the things are up. SCHD is up 0.36%. AbbVie is up 1.19%. Aflac's up. And, of course, JP Morgan. Most of my others are some big losers like VTI, VGT, QQQM, VXUS, Nvidia. With tech coming down, all of these are going to be coming down just a little bit more. Now we got some events with Aflac giving out some dividends on September 2nd. We got, probably that's about it. Our big dividends are going to be coming in September, which is cool. Let's see if we'll have a dividend calendar later on in the video, but here is my goal. Like I said, my goal is hitting about $1.5 million in today's money, and so it says 3.31. That's with inflation. So my goal is hitting at about 9%. So we're sitting at about 2048. 23 years will hit about $1.5 million in today's money, which will be $3.31 million. So we're just continuing to add money to that, and we're hoping to hit it faster. But we'll see what happens to the market. Market goes up and down, and jobs change, and we'll see what goes on. All right, let's jump into some analytics. Now, here's my portfolio, and we have probably seen this before. I just showed you guys. We've got some Apple, AbbVie, Aflac, Aventis, AVUV. We got JP Morgan, Nvidia, QQQM, SCHD, SMH, TSM, VGLT, VGT, VTI, VXUS. So these are different companies and different portfolios. Now, if we look at the returns are always pretty good to look at. TSMC is my best returning, even though I don't have much money. It's sitting in my M1 Finance portfolio, which I only put in about $300 a month. And so it just continues to grow and grow. JP Morgan is also in that same one, and it's grown about 107%. and that's pretty good. VTIs in both of them, and it's been growing almost about 70%. QQQM is um, in both of them as well, and that's doing pretty good. We got Apple. VGT is doing pretty good, but not as good as QQQM at this point. FX pretty good. V's not so bad, and then we got some good ones. All right, if you guys really want to see, let's check out our analytics. All right, let's check out our analytics and the growth of our. Let's check out analytics and the growth of our portfolio. Now, so our portfolio from August 1st to August 31st has grown about $12,323, which is not so bad. It's beating the S&P 500 by 0.46% right there, and so that's pretty good. And then I'm not always trying to beat the S&P 500, but if it happens, that's great. So let's keep going. Now, if we take a look at our portfolio performance over this last month, from actually July 31st, I don't know why this says plus 12 over here, but from July 31st to August 31st, we're up about 2.55%. And it's making about $7,000 with some dividends received, which is pretty good. And as you guys can see, the portfolio has gone up and down. I mean, we're talking about we started on the 31st and it went down on the 1st about 4,670, went down a little bit more. Then it went up and up and up and up, and then it went down and down and down, and then went up. That's just what happens in the market. The market goes up and down, and as we can see, this will continue to go up and down throughout the year. We just don't know what happens. Now, if there's a rate cut in September, we're going to see it skyrocket. Since tariffs have become illegal according to judges, if tariffs are removed from all products, we're going to see the market skyrocket. Now, if that doesn't happen, we're going to see if rate cuts don't happen and tariffs stay on, we're going to see the market go up and down with the volatility. Now, if we take a look at here, this is the last 12 months. Now, I probably put this portfolio in at the end of February, so don't pay attention to that February number. That 50% doesn't really work. But this March, down 4.5%. April, down 0.6%. May, up 6.6%. June, up 5.2%, July up 2.4%, and August up 2.6%. With a $296,000 portfolio, if you're going up 2%, I mean, think about it, that's about $6,000 to $7,000. So that's a good amount of money that I could be added to my portfolio every single month. And I mean, that's almost beating people's jobs. It's beating my job. So I gotta just keep on going, hoping the market keeps on driving and keeps on growing my portfolio for the long term. So as we can see with the holdings right here, these are the holdings for this month on how they did. VTI is my largest holding. But as we look at this, it also did one of the best on the market, 4.1%. It beat VGT. Now, VXUS is an international ETF, and it holds about 8,000 different holdings. It's up 4.6%. QQQM is up only 3%. SEHD is up 5.8%. Apple is up 15%. They had a great earnings. AVUV, which is a small cap value fund by Vantis, is up 10%. But then you see Nvidia's down. SMH is not that high up. TSMC is down. AbbVie is up a little bit, but it's a small holding. FX up a little bit. Wow, 8.8% is pretty good. So those are some pretty good numbers. Now, if we take a look at these holdings, my diversification is basically divided up into VTI, and we have some VGT, QQQM for some growth, and then we have some VXUS. I've had it for a very long time, so I just keep holding it, and then some SEHD and some dividend stocks. So let's take a look at that portfolio. Now we take a look at this portfolio. As you can see with the diversification, I got about 74%, a little bit 75% VTI. VGT makes up about 7.3%, but if you add that with QQQM, my growth sector is making up about 10% of the portfolio, with a little bit of some tech with Apple and Nvidia kind of adding to that, so that's maybe 11%. The rest of them are some dividends and some other ones. So we have basically in my portfolio is VTI with some growth, a little bit of internationals, and a little bit of dividends. So we can take a look at let's go to some sectors. Here we go. Now, this is dividing sectors up by information technology and financials. So information technology makes up about 36.7%. Financials make about 13%. Then we got consumer discretionary, healthcare, industrial, communications, consumer staples, energy. And these are just parts of the portfolio. So if you want to have kind of this snowball analytics attractive portfolio, you can do the same thing. Let's jump into some dividends to see how those are looking. Now we're looking at our dividends, and my yield is right now 1.25%. Yield on cost is about 2.02% yield on cost. Dividends annually is about $3,700, with monthly about $308. Now with a lot of growth stocks and even with VTI, we're not getting the amounts of dividends that if you wanted to have enough dividends to kind of sustain your life. Right now, a lot of it's based upon growth. And so what I'm trying to do is accumulate more wealth and not focus in on all those dividends right now. So in the next 10 years, if my portfolio is sitting at about $1 million and I need some more income, I can start making more, put more things in some dividend ETFs or even covered call ETFs. So right here we have, SEHD, of course, is making up the large amount of the highest dividend yield, about 3.67%, 4.12% yield on cost. And we have AbbVie, VXUS, Aflac, JP Morgan, AVUV, TSM. Then we got VTI, QQM, and VGT. Then we can see this right here. VTI makes up most of our dividends, even because it's the largest holding in my portfolio, about $220,000. So that's why it's got about the largest. Now, SEHD doesn't make up much. It makes up a little bit over 2% of my portfolio, but it also has 7.5% of the dividends on this portfolio. So we can see that right here. And VGT is, since it's a bigger holding than QQQM, it's got a lot more dividends. Now we look at it and we can see some safety in these ratings. Obviously NVIDIA, TSMC, and Apple are very safe. Aflac's pretty safe. AbbVie, it's probably paying a little bit too much, but that's besides the point. Then we have some others. All right. And we can see how annual growth is going. NVIDIA is doing pretty good. AVUV is growing its annual dividend by 19%. That's great. Aflac is doing 15.68%. TSM, 11%. SEHD, about 8.77%. JP Morgan, 8.65%. And it just keeps on going. Now, we got some future payments coming up in it should be coming up in September. We got some payments coming up, but as you can see, we got a good amount in July. We should have gotten those all in June. We got a tiny bit in August, but when we're coming up to September, we're going to have some more dividends coming up. All right, let's take a look at anything else we want to take a look at. Now we take a look at some of the metrics of my portfolio. We can see that the portfolio value has increased overall. We have in February, when I put my portfolio in here, it's about $246,000. And then it's just increased to 250, 267, 281, 288, 296,000. That's the power of compounding interest. When we start and we continue to invest in some top growing and top great ETFs or even stocks, it's going to continue to grow and grow. And that's just the compounding factor. Now, this is a great opportunity to take a look at your portfolio at the end of the month or even at the beginning before the markets open in the next month. You can track this with a good Google spreadsheet. You can track it with Snowball Analytics. I'll leave a link in the description. And for this month of August was a pretty good month for me. I got to travel back to the States. I got to see my family. I got to visit my brother, my sister, my nephews. I got to be able to go to the beach, enjoy some of the weather with my daughter and my wife. And it was just a great opportunity to enjoy a little bit of vacation life. All right, guys, that's a little bit about my portfolio update. It's up about $7,000, and that's good news. And I'll see you in our next video. All right. You guys take care. Leave me a like, a comment, and question, and I'll answer it. And on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have live streams. So check it out. I'll see you guys in the next time, and you guys take care.